Well, good morning, church. I'm Pastor Dave, and this is the musing for November 18th. The prophet Isaiah wrote the words of God, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it?" Seems like God is always doing a new thing. Creation itself was a new thing. Before that event, there was only God. And then, in one of the most amazingly godlike things ever, God conceived of not God. The idea that there could be something outside of himself. He conceived that and he made it happen. Many musings ago, I spoke of how the Lord did a new thing with the people of Israel, moving them from a pagan system based upon vengeance, first to a system built upon justice, and then to a system built upon grace. And at each step along the way, he built on the changes and the spiritual growth that were fostered by the previous change. God did not change justice, but he transcended it with mercy and grace. Justice was still just, but grace was a better way. Jesus did much the same thing with the Sermon on the Mount, explaining that the law regulated behavior, but that regulating behavior wasn't enough. Motivation also needed to be addressed. For example, he said that the law prohibits murder, but that anyone who has hatred in his heart is also under judgment. His point was not that the law was wrong, but that it needed to go further and in a new direction to deal with different issues. That seems to be kind of a pattern for God. He creates, and then he overlays something new on top of the old creation. He never undoes anything that he has done. He simply uses it as the base for a new dimension of understanding. The law was flawless, but Jesus placed a new layer of meaning on it. The understanding that our intentions and our motives, the contents of our hearts, are just as important as our behavior. And I think that the reason is that the damage done to our relationship with God, the walls we put up when we sin, are built not just by what we do, but also by what we think and about what we want to do. Wanting to sin, whether we do it or not, does us spiritual harm. It's the same kind of harm in both cases. Now, clearly, it's better to want to sin and then not than it is to want to sin and then to follow through with it. But just avoiding the actual behavior doesn't make everything okay. The internal matters. And Jesus intends in this Sermon on the Mount to raise the bar of our obedience to God, to further refine our relationship with the Father and to take it to a new level. Fortunately, he's here to help us meet that new higher standard. God bless you all.